Where is this? Who knows where this is? Do you know too? Where is this? Where is this place? It's a very popular place in the world. Very common place. Do you have any ideas? What do you think? Where is this place?
Oh, I think it's Times Square.
Times Square. Well done. It is Times Square, New York. That's exactly right. Oh, I wonder if I've got a blank page down below. Maybe oh, this is so much better. Let's do it here because we have a little bit more space. Maybe even further on. Oh, that's even better. Ah, okay, cool. This is Times Square, New York. Right. So, what I want you to do is I want you to grab your writing tools and I want you to write on the board. I'm going to divide things into different sections over here. I'm going to say, oh, let's do smell, taste, touch, or feel, right? The things you can hear, the things you can see. Okay, so lots of different senses over here. I'd like you to write underneath them. So get some ideas. I want you each to write maybe 1 or 2 sentences for each part. What can you taste, touch, feel, smell, hear, see in this city? And how would you describe them, right? We're going to write down key words. We're not going to write full sentences. Treat this as your notes, right? Just key words, not full sentences. You can ask me if you can't identify something in your picture. You can say, "Teacher, what is that?" It's a billboard, right? A billboard. It's like an advertisement. Some nice words coming in already for both of you. I'm going to write some general ideas here in yellow. Feel free to grab them, right, and put them into places if you want as well. What about smells? Nobody's written anything for what you could possibly smell in a city now. I think you could smell a lot of different things. Here comes the pollution. Yeah, definitely. Lots of polluted air, right? Lots of pollution. I can imagine. Yeah, talk about those fumes and the gases from the cars right, passing by. Ugh. Maybe there's a bit of sewage. Maybe all the smells aren't particularly amazing, but maybe there are some nice smells as well. Emissions, that's a nice word. All right, cool. I think we've got enough. So let's have a look. Talking about taste, let's begin over here. Multicultural. Who wrote that? Who did you write multicultural? Yeah, okay, multicultural taste, like lots of different kinds of taste from all over the world, yeah? Tourist destinations, ethnic food stalls, those food stalls along the sides of the roads. Like in New York and the USA, they've got a lot of, for example, Mexican food stalls where you can go get a taco and a burrito, right? Mexican food, ethnic food stalls, right? From different ethnic groups. What can you touch? What can you feel? You guys wrote hustle and bustle. Yeah, perhaps you can feel that vibrant. Okay, maybe. Do you? Maybe you feel vibrant? I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you feel a bit vibrant. Typically, we use this word in terms of what we can see. So, example, maybe this the neon lights in the billboards are kind of vibrant. They're glowing. They're bright. Okay, you might want to maybe move that word over there, which would be a little bit better suited. Lots of life, right? Lots of bustling activity. Exactly. Crossroads of the world. That's a nice one. All right. Polluted air, emissions from the vehicles. What can you hear? Music festivals. Okay. Can you hear the continuous banging of drums? You know the people on the side of the road who play music for a bit of money? We actually, in English, we call them buskers. They are buskers, right? So they are doing what we call, as a gerund, an activity. We say that they are busking is the activity. To busk or busking is the activity. Okay. So maybe you hear that. Maybe there's lots of music festivals, but maybe there are also a lot of street buskers, right? The hooting and honking of horns. It's very noisy. I can imagine it's quite overwhelming, actually. Yeah. Lots of modern facilities, foreign faces, right? Neon billboards, glowing, vibrant billboards everywhere, towering skyscrapers, right? You can write some of these words down. What we kind of missed a little bit is maybe perhaps adding some nice adjectives to these nouns as well, right? So we've got some nice nouns, lots and lots and lots of nice nouns, but like these are quite nice. Modern facilities, we've got both the adjective and the noun working together. Neon lights, that's quite a nice adjective. Perhaps you want to describe some of these other elements in a little bit more detail. Okay, so nice ideas from both of you, right? Now let's jump up and begin to practice by ourselves. Right, so I'm going to give you some time. I'm going to give you more than a minute. And what we're going to do over here, we're going to have a look at the question. So I'm going to allow you both to work in pairs. And as always, I want one of you to talk. I want the other person to give feedback. Okay, so take notes, right, of your friend while they talk, of your peer. I want you to find, did they make any pronunciation errors? What about grammatical errors? Do they pause a lot? Do they self-correct a lot? Do they and ah a lot? Is their answer a little bit too long? Is it too short? Right? So you're going to give somebody some constructive feedback. You're going to say something you really like about their talk, but maybe you're going to look at this and say, well, listen here. I think maybe the thing you really need to work on the most is perhaps your pronunciation. There are certain words there you're pronouncing incorrectly, or your grammar needs a little bit of work, or maybe you pause a little bit too much. Okay. So here's the question, and I'm going to give you both some time to prepare this, right? It says here, describe a city you think is very interesting. It's the one we've already looked at. Okay. What is the city? What's it famous for? How do you know about the city? And explain why you think it's interesting, right? Maybe over here you can incorporate some of the senses, right, in those two questions. You can add some of the five senses, which would be quite nice. You don't have to, but it's a tool there for you to use. Okay. So I'm going to give you both about 4.5 minutes is very kind. At least now while we're practicing, just so you get a feel for what to do. Okay. So take 4.5 minutes. You're going to prepare some ideas. You're going to prepare your notes. Remember, on your notes, I just want key words. Strong nouns, strong adjectives. Okay, not sentences. Phrases of 3 words at the most. Okay, so let us begin. Who would like to go first? I'm going to choose person two. Would you like to go first?
Yes.
Yeah, you're ready. Okay, two. So I know you normally get a little bit nervous before these things, but just today, relax. Okay, totally relax. If you make errors, you make errors. Doesn't matter, right? Today in class, we're just here to help each other out. So don't stress too much, right? Not too much emotion. Just relax, right? One of the most important things that you'll learn as you grow up, and I wish I knew this when I was your age, was not to worry so much about things. Like don't let the stress get me. You know, when I was in school, every time I had to say a speech or do a play or anything like that, I used to freak out so much. But just relax. Okay. So let's begin with you. I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock. 2 minutes there. Remember, who are you're going to be giving notes. So do take notes of two as well as she speaks, right? All right. So I'm going to ask you the question. Describe a city you think is very interesting. Remember your clear introduction, your body, and your conclusion. You may begin.
Um, well, I would talk about Dalat, the city which located in the south of Vietnam. Oh, and to travel from it, uh, I it's need to have a 2 hour flight from Hanoi, and by that, every year, a thousand of people they visit the city to savor the pleasantly cool climate and the beauties of the flower garden. Well, I have traveled to it several times, and if memory serves me right, the last time I went there is last year. Last year, when my family we decided to go on the holiday after my mom and my dad they have extremely busy uh as a bee, with them business. And yeah, however, um, it's very different from what we think. Yeah, what we expect is a cool climate, but when we travel here, the weather at that time was extremely hot. So I think it wasn't a a suitable choice for us. So I just came across to travel some the brochure about Dalat, and I think that is the most attractive destination that we choose to spend our vacation there. And well, um, I think the most attractive thing that I got is uh, the garden of flowers, because the flower beauty is breathtaking. That my family we have snapped some photo and posted on my Facebook on our Facebook. And after that, we have some climbing. But the however, we went up because uh, the peak was it's so steep that we need to, and we were so tired. And
All right.
I think that is how flash in Dalat, and I hope that we can return there in the future.
Okay, thank you so much too. So I didn't stop you there, but the examiner actually will stop you there, right? So in the IELTS exam, they'll say, "Oh, stop. That's it." Right? Okay. So I'm going to ask you first, too. If you feel, what is one thing you really like about your own talk? What is one thing you think you can improve on yourself?
I think it's that kind of the fluency, because that is a I think that is the first time I talked about a city. So yeah, So it's quite nervous for me to talk about that. And well, the fact that I haven't traveled to Dalat, it's just about imagination.
How about
And
your
I think
imagination? All right, you're
take a
using those
long time.
imaginary skills. Okay, I'm going to ask
Um,
Hua.
yeah.
Could you give Tu some feedback? What did you like? What is something she needs to work on?
Well, I think uh, I I don't completely hear all her content in her talk, but I think she has made some grammatical mistakes. Sometimes she forgot to change the verb into the past tense because she told everybody about her trip. And uh, as she say that she has paused a little bit at some time, so I think her fluency is affected.
Okay. What's one thing you liked about her talk?
I like her content. It's quite creative that she told about her trip to like a botanical garden with a lot of flower and herbal. I like her content.
All right, you like the content, yeah? The content. Okay, so remember content, with the stress on the second word is actually the adjective. The content, the stress on the first syllable is the noun, the content. All right, so two, I think you have greatly improved in your fluency. Right, I felt that you were a lot more confident there in that answer. Yeah, there were some pauses in your talk and some self-correction, but if I think back to the previous talks, this talk was actually a lot more fluent and a lot more coherent, right? You had ideas, your content was there, you built ideas nicely. I know you've never been to this place, so you had to use your imagination as well, right? So I really like your structure, I liked your content. Um, Little words you could have used. You explaining the climate at one stage. You said it's very hot. I would have liked you to use words like it's scorching hot. Maybe make those descriptions a little bit stronger with stronger lexis. The word pleasant is the only word I think I heard you kind of mispronounce there. The idiom, did you talk about busy as a bee? Did I hear that? Well, your parents are as busy as a bee. All right. So just be careful in how you use that idiom. You really want to put those words together. My parents were as busy as a bee. I want to yell those four words together if you use the idiom, right? So don't break the idiom up too much. Okay. Also, yes, tenses. You started using the word choose a lot when you should have conjugated into the past then spoke about a past choice being chose. We chose that destination because of such and such. It happened in the past. So little grammatical errors there in terms of your conjugation. Remember to keep your tenses in the right tense, right? That takes practice though. You need to practice with a native speaker, right? Quite a bit. Okay, Hua, it is your turn. I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock. Let's begin. I'm going to ask you the question. Don't forget, too, you need to write down some notes. Right, so let's begin. Describe a city you think is very interesting.
Well, when it's come to a city that I find amazing, the first thing that comes to my mind is Da Nang, a city that my friends and I visited last month. It's a coastal city in Vietnam and it's one of the most tourist destinations that attract millions of tourists every year. And this city is famous for landmarks such as Dragon Bridge, Lingon Pagoda, and some marble mountains, and also its spectacular natural landscapes from some beautiful beaches to some mountains, stunning mountain scenery. And we spent 5 days there to explore some of interesting places and doing loads of things together. The first day we spent for swimming and sunbathing. In Da Nang, it has some sun beach with crystal water, so we can basking in the sun and playing some aquatic sports. And in day two, we spent our time for exploring the food culture that it has food paradise like mi Quang or bun chao cá that I can give it a try in that is I don't have it in my local area. And we also visit Banana Hill, like a mountainous area, and do some trekking together and taking photos. And on this final day, we visited the Wax Museum, which is an amazing experience. And we explore some interesting places before heading back to the city center. I will definitely visit this beautiful coastal city again because there are still many places for us to discover.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your talk. All right. So, Hua, if I ask you, what's one thing you like about your own talk? What's the one thing you feel you need to work on?
Well, I think the thing that I like about my talk is that I didn't talk too much, and I think my content is quite fine. But sometimes I still my fluency is affected.
Okay. Okay. So, too, if you were to give Hua some feedback, what's one thing you like about her talk? So, let's begin with that. What's one thing you like about her talk?
Well, I think the most, I think her content is, yeah, uh, it's creative, yeah, and 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 her vocabulary, yeah, I think that she got an interesting vocabulary, like the crystal water. Yeah, I think that's the new word that I learned today. And about her fluency and coherence, yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, because